You know, it's that classic daydream, isn't it? If I had all the money in the world. Well, a viewer, Daniel, threw that question at us and basically said, hey, what if we take that literally? What would actually physically happen if you suddenly had every single dollar, euro, yen, and peso on the entire planet?
And let's be super clear here. We're not talking about just having a massive bank account balance. No. We're asking what would happen physically if every single coin and every single paper bill on Earth just appeared right next to you.
So, first things first, we got to make a really important distinction between wealth and cash. See, most of the world's money is just an idea, right? It's ones and zeros on a computer screen, it's stock certificates, it's property deeds. That's all abstract stuff. What we're talking about today is the hard stuff, the physical cash you can actually touch.
So, how would this even work? Well, for the sake of our little thought experiment, let's just say you've dabbled in the dark arts and you've cooked up a money summoning spell. You find yourself a nice wide open field, you chant the magic words, and poof!
Every last bit of physical cash on the planet materializes right there. So what are we talking about value-wise? Well, the estimates put the total amount of physical currency in the world at somewhere over $10 trillion. That number is just huge. But what does $10 trillion in cash actually look like?
Yeah, trying to picture $10 trillion is pretty much impossible, so let's try to put it into perspective. The pile of money you've just conjured into existence, it would be taller than the Statue of Liberty.
But as impressive as that is, the height isn't even the real problem. The real problem is the mass. The sheer weight of your money pile would be more than the entire Empire State Building. I mean, just try to wrap your head around that for a second.
And here's where it gets really nuts. You'd probably assume that most of that incredible weight comes from giant stacks of paper bills, but you'd be wrong. The vast majority of the weight comes from coins.
And to really hammer this point home, let's just focus on one single coin, the humble American penny. Just the pennies, all by themselves, would weigh over 500,000 tons. That's 500,000 tons of pennies.
I mean, think about it. All of that unbelievable weight is from something that most of us just have sitting in a jar on our dresser, right? We have over 200 billion of these things just lying around. In fact, Canada got rid of their penny entirely, and you know what? The country didn't fall apart.
Okay, so let's get back to the scene. The spell is cast. You're standing there, hopefully at a safe distance, just admiring your mountain of money that's taller than a national monument. So what happens now? Well, it's not going to be pretty.
To understand what's about to unfold, we actually have to look at this bizarre and tragic moment in history, the Great Boston Molasses Flood. A giant tank of molasses burst open, and even though you think of molasses as thick and slow, the sheer volume created a wave so fast and powerful that it literally destroyed buildings and killed people.
Your pile of coins acts in almost the exact same way. It's not a solid, stable object. It's more like a pile of metallic sand. It immediately starts to collapse under its own incredible weight, and the coins flow outwards like a liquid, creating this unstoppable tidal wave of metal. Within about 10 seconds, that wave of money hits you, and, well, that's the end of your story.
So is that it then? Is death by coin tsunami our only possible outcome here? What if you were a bit smarter about it? What if you actually planned ahead?
Okay, let's try this again. Plan B. Step 1. Before you do any magic, you build a massive, incredibly strong containment structure. Think of a giant reinforced concrete silo. Step 2. You cast your spells so all that cash materializes inside the silo. Problem solved, right? So congratulations! You have successfully avoided being crushed by a literal wave of money. But in doing so, you've created a brand new problem for yourself. And in some ways, this problem is far, far worse than a quick, dramatic death. You are now facing the soul-crushing, inescapable terror of bureaucracy. Specifically, you're looking at some serious building code violations. You see, putting that much weight in one concentrated spot is a huge issue. If we look at, say, the New York City Building Code, your money silo would be in flagrant violation of Section 1806, which is all about the allowable load-bearing values of soils and rocks. In plain English, you've put so much weight in one spot that you've literally broken the ground underneath it. And really, all of this, the physics, the danger, the city ordinances, it all leads us to one final, very important question. How in the world did Scrooge McDuck get a permit to build his money bin? The amount of paperwork must have been staggering. It really makes you think.
Thanks for joining us for this one.